is that enough? Or is there something else that Dr. Simha from his years of wisdom is going to share us? And the hint is already here, the power of data-driven decision making, right? That means what is the decisions that all of us are making? How it is backed by, what is it backed? Are we putting our own assumptions and opinions, or are we really showing evidence-driven decisions, right? So that is what we would discuss today. And we are hoping that this is going to help you change some of your assumptions, because most of us may think that we are doing everything right. Somebody has to discover us, somebody has to appreciate our work. Maybe promotion is also an indication that we are actually doing the right thing aligned to the organizational goals, right? So is there a way to understand whether our current track is right? If not, is there a better track which can help us to reach our destination, which is professional success, right? Most of us whom we address here from our community are professionals who are looking for professional success. Professional success is organizational success as well. So happy to again welcome all of you, and really grateful because it is a Thursday evening, time to spend time in front of TV, in front of doing something, maybe an Instagram reel or something. But you are here to learn. We truly appreciate that. We are REVA Academy for Corporate Excellence, REVA University, and I am Dr. Shinu Abi, the Director for Corporate Training Programs. We have an amazing ecosystem of excellent industry leaders led by Dr. Simha, who is leading the session today. 50 plus industry mentors, about 1,000 plus industry workforce who are learning from this ecosystem is what make RACE stand out today. And we have been doing these kinds of awareness webinar just to ensure that once in a while, maybe some wisdom hacks, wisdom truths is very important for us to realign to ourselves, reflect, introspect. Am I in the right direction, right? So Dr. Simha is, I'm sure he's not a stranger for some of you. He is our face of RACE. He has been helping us, directing us, guiding us in today's world, which is only data driven. That much data is there, but are we still going back to our no the kind of an assumptions based or opinion based decision making, or is there better way to learn how to actually implement data driven decision making? So with that, looking forward to great interactions and discussions with Dr. Simha. Chat is available. Please do chat and put your questions. And if you want to know more, we will also discuss what RACE do towards the end, right? So over to you, Dr. Simha. Looking forward to a great session. Thank you.
So I hope I'm audible. Jordan, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Just a little adjust the camera, sir.
Okay, we'll do that. Better now?
Oh, perfect, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So, thank you all for taking time on a Thursday evening. And I hope we are in the same boat. The only difference is some of us have crossed that. The people who are listening now are planning to cross it. So that we would like to know why some of us got promoted. What was the difference? Was the difference the extraordinary talent that we carry, or a set of consistent skills we execute which has an evidence? The concept is simple. The world is moving towards data driven leaders or emotion driven leaders. You cannot have emotion driven leaders in a profit making world. It must be data driven. I'm putting all my effort, still I'm not getting promoted. I'm doing everything, still I don't have a new job opening that calls me and tells me that you are better suited for this. Can we address this? Is the agenda for today's session. We would like to see how we can make any of this in our control. Now let's understand. For me, I'm assuming the audience are not freshers. Though even though if you are freshers, it's not that you should not listen to this. You are welcome. But I'm looking at anybody who has got around 8 to 10 years of experience or more. You are trying to reach the ceiling. The ceiling is not your competence. The ceiling is not your ability or the effort you are putting. The ceiling is your thinking model. The model we carry now is I'm a good programmer. I can become a good team lead. I can become a good project manager. I can become a good program manager. But what is beyond that? That exactly is the question we would like to answer. The reason is very simple. Most of the operations what we were doing, including coding, is becoming operationally executable by AI. Let's face the reality. People may say AI will not take away my job, AI will not do that, AI will not do this. After coding, the next task the AI is trying to do is physics-driven AI. Probably you might have seen people handling the camera here and trying to say how they are cutting the fruit. We may come out with a machine with AI kind of intelligence which will do that. You put that and it will give all those things. So in such cases, if we want to be still relevant, what is that is needed? How can we pass the ceiling? Not by overcoming it, but by increasing the ceiling height so that we can grow. How can we do that? We have to understand few things. Most of the professionals, I don't say all of the professionals, most of the tech professionals or functional professionals go with what is called as gut feeling. I have done this, I know this. It's more subjective. And anything that is subjective will be crossed when it goes to the board. You talk to your CEO, you talk to your CTO, they will cross it. I don't trust that. I don't trust your intuition. I don't trust your gut feeling. I don't trust your experience. That is not the language we have to speak. And that's the language we are working with when we are in operations. We have to shift the gears. We have to move to a different plane. The second thing that we have to understand is humans by nature are risk averse, except type A people who would like to go and do adventurous things. 85 to 90% of people are type B or type C. Tell me how it has to be done. I will lead this, but no risk, including CEOs, including CXOs. They don't take risk. I'm not telling all, most. Most cannot take risk. And if you tell this is risk free, but you cannot quantify, they don't trust. There is no trust when there is no quantification. When you say that you have to invest $1 million in this, and most likely you will get $5 million, worst case, you will get $1.2 million. We are quantifying the risk. Risk is in 5 years you will get 20%, or in 5 years you will get 500%. What is the risk? If the risk is not quantified, the C level will not listen to you. Number 3, there's a paradigm shift. We have to move away from the kind of emotional kind of things to logic based, objective logic based arguments. Logic, if it is not substantiated by the data, simply remains philosophy. Move beyond philosophy, become pragmatic, become practical. We had to cross this. Why so? Why we have to go with this? There is what is called as data-driven decision making. It is not new. In manufacturing, it was there since 1970s. Actually, in Japan and other places, it is there since 1960s. Sometimes it was called as statistical process control. Sometimes it is called as Six Sigma. Sometimes it is called as data-driven decision making. Now it is becoming more common It is data-driven decision making. It was already there. There is nothing new. But the only thing that is new is the way in which we are doing it. We are not going with just hypothesis and some statistical tools. We are trying to bring myriads of technologies into the table, and we would like to orchestrate them. And that is what drives you a different person, what makes you a different person than just using data. I'm also using data, but if you look at it, any company which goes with modern D3M or data driven decision making is likely to get 5 to 25% improvement in its overall productivity. Productivity can be profit, productivity can be the way in which they are working, productivity can be getting new clients, productivity can be adopting AI, any of that can be improved from 6 to 25%. This is a study done by MIT. It's available openly. And this is what we are looking at. And this is the place where you should be moving towards. How many of the decisions that you are taking today, it can be professional or it can be personal or data driven, or it's driven by some data in the mind. I catch something, I read something, I understand, and I feel that I should do this decision. The moment we move towards data that has been captured, that has been processed and available as evidence, we are moving towards data-driven decision making. Personally, I feel, because I personally use this for my health. People say that, why do you go for blood test every 3 months once? 1 year is enough. Who says 1 year is enough? If your doctor says, agree with him, but I don't agree with anybody. I will go for every 3 months once. I want every vitals to be checked, and I am monitoring that. That is data-driven data management for me. I am managing my health through the data, clinical data I am getting. Once we do this, can we apply this professionally? How can we apply this professionally? What are the skills that are required? Now look at this. Why we had to go with data-driven decision making? Cultural aspiration. You ask anybody, I'm implementing AI, I want to go with data-driven decision making. They will tell the percentage is 98.6% of the organizations which have been surveyed, they want to go with data-driven decision making. It's a kind of wish. It's a kind of want. It's not a need. Now, if you look at how many people are doing, hardly about 32% of people are really doing data-driven decision making. Some of them are largest companies from Fang Belt. They have every data about every behavior, they can control us. 32% are doing that. What this means to us, if 98% wants to go towards decision making through data, only 32% are doing it. That gap is where the opportunity is. An executive who is capable of driving this, who is capable of doing this change management to move from gut-based feeling, report-based feeling to data-driven execution of the decisions, are the future. Are we there yet? No. Why? There are certain reasons we would like to discuss. Why most of the functional professionals, technical professionals are not in a position to exploit this. Why they cannot exploit this? Why they cannot go? Reason is very clear. Reason is what tool set you have, what evidence you have to demonstrate I can do something I didn't knew earlier. Can you discover things from data? If it's already some kind of what happened kind of report, which any report can tell, we are not needed. Automated report can be generated and CEO can see and do things. We are not needed. We have to move from reporting to discovery. Can you discover something which you didn't know yesterday? Because you got the data today, you found that correlation, you found that difference, you found that grouping, you found that trend, you found that anomaly. Can you get that? Can you discover? Discovery by its name is the thing I didn't know. Not that it was not there. It was already there, but I didn't know. Something like, do you think that E is equal to mc square was not there before Einstein did that? He formulated it. It was there before. It was there during his time. It will be there after his time. Even now, E is equal to mc square. So it was there, but Einstein discovered it. He discovered it, literally. So if such is the case, discovery is something which I don't know now. How many things we don't know? We don't even know how many things we don't know. Data is the way to get that discovery. Do you have the skill to discover something from the data? You have the domain expertise. You have the technical expertise. Do you have the ability to discover something which is overlooked by others, overlooked by reports, overlooked by the domain specialist? Can you discover that? Can you diagnose why it happened? Probably the domain expert will be in a position to do that, but a technical expert can always do by understanding, by using AI. We can do that. Are we equivalent to domain experts? Not necessarily, but I may reach 60 to 80% of what domain can do without using domain, without having domain, but I learn on the job. That simply telling why did it happen, we try to diagnose it. And then we try to predict what is likely to happen. It's not just predict using some statistical formula, some AI formula. No, it must be explainable. You must explain why it is so. You discover something, you diagnose something, you predict something in the same trend. All of that is useless. All of that is useless. It becomes, my shoe is hurting. Okay, my shoe is hurting. My shoe is hurting. If you know what to do when the shoe hurts, it's a totally different thing. You're recommending if the shoe hurts, just open the shoe and see whether any stone is there inside the shoe. If it is there, just throw that, shoe becomes normal. Prescribe. What is the recommendation you can give based on the data? These are the 4 skills which implicitly CEO or CXO has. The reason we are not getting this out is they don't even know they have these innate skills. They are doing implicitly. What science has taken out, these 4 are the bare minimum if somebody wants to move from technical functional level to executive level. If they know these things with some additional things which we'll discuss later, we will be in a better position to move up the ladder. How do we bridge these things? There's a gap. How do we bridge this? What few professionals who get promoted have in common from the professionals who are not promoted? Both of them work for 12 years, both of them working in same technical field, both of them work with similar kind of clients. One got promoted, one did not. What is the reason? There are 2 reasons. If we look at the board speak, the C-suite speak, they are not speaking like how many lines of code, how many people worked, how many ads impressions were served. No, none of that has been discussed in the board. How much company earned, how much cost we spent, what is the risk, how do I de-escalate it, how are we growing? This is the speech that will be spoken in the C-suite or in the board. Now, the first thing is there's a disconnect in the language. Maximum, you can become a program manager, maybe a general manager, technical, maybe a VP technical and things like that. But a VP technical who cannot move up, who cannot speak in terms of numbers is not appreciated. Is not appreciated. This is one of the things everyone has to understand. If I want to get promoted, am I speaking like CEO? Am I speaking like CXO? Am I behaving like CXO? Am I thinking like CXO? The 3 things. First, am I thinking like CXO? Second, am I behaving like CXO? Third, am I speaking like CXO? These 3 are the barriers which are holding us back. Now, if you look at how they speak, In fact, you give some solution. Instead of just telling customer acquisition, this technology is good, this is the greatest and the latest AI, things like that, CEO is very cautious. He asks, what is in it for me? The moment you say, this has got very high chance. Now, with whatever you're getting 1x. You implement my solution, you will get 23x. That's what you had to speak. It can be profitability, it can be customer retention, you name any metric. We are looking at what is that I get as CXO? What is that I get as a company? Can you speak that language? We had to speak that language. In fact, we go with Deming, who says that without data, you're just another person with opinion. You are trying to tell your opinion and you're asking me to believe that it is truth. Truth is data. Rest of the things are interpretations. Do you know how to interpret the data? Do you know how to speak on both the sides? This is what we are looking at if somebody wants to become a CXO material. What's the blueprint then? Now we know what's the gap. Now we know what is the possibility, potential. 70% potential is there. Gap we know. Mostly it is the speech, it is the behavior, it is the thinking. Once we have these three identified as the gap, what is the blueprint that we should use to move from point A to point B, where point B is at some elevation? It can be personal success, it can be professional success, it can be financial success. Doesn't matter. You are moving up. What is the blueprint for that? Now let us look at the blueprint. First of this is to quantify your personal value. I get a lot of resumes at the senior level, and they will say they led the project, they facilitate the project operations, they did that, they did. So yeah, you did that. Anybody could have done that. What is that extra you had done? Have you reduced the cost by 20%? Have you reduced the time by 20%? Have you improved my revenue, the next opportunity that I can get from that client, by another $2 million? What is that you can quantify as your personal value as an executive? If you cannot quantify the value, trust me, the opportunities are bleak. The moment you do anything, start putting the number. That's the personal thing that you bring. The value you bring to the table is quantified. If you cannot quantify, implicitly is understood, you're not done it. Period. You're not done it. That's a silent code that is being read in the boardrooms. You have to understand, the more you try to quantify and tell, I did this, I reduced the cost by 20%. If I come to you or if I come to that level, I can see across all the functions, I can cut the cost by another 20%. And that makes the people to raise their radar. That's what's important. Yeah, you can quantify personal value, but if two people are quantifying the personal value, they are similar. One person is qualified, another is not qualified. Whom do you think this position goes to? It should be go to the qualified person. In fact, jokingly we say if it goes to unqualified person, probably he may be brother-in-law of the CEO. That's why he got promoted. No, we do not want anything by the power. It should be by your competence. Your competence should happen with your data skills. When I say data skills, it is not knowing SQL to the level of SQL programmer or competing in SQL. No, it's about how do you speak with numbers? How do you work with numbers? AI skills. AI skill doesn't mean you have to learn the latest one. It is not about that. Do you know where planning is required? Where reasoning is required? Where I had to introduce adaptive learning. For example, recently we were working with one of the companies who are in agri-tech business. They were marketing a lot of things and we wanted to see what is the effect of the war. Can the system learn? Can AI learn, or does it require a person to say, now it is war, the things will not move, you slow down? Surprisingly, the AI model which has been built, it started panicking and it started sending the signals that something is not okay, you have to see this. It predicted and it said something looks like normal, but another signal says that this is not the time for normal. I don't have any data for this. You have to tell me what to do. Such kind of AI skills, when AI fails, how do you bring your capability into that? Because you have done some similar kind of thing. Your team is working on something, they failed. You intervene and you do something and you manage the things. You bring it back to normality. And that skill of your ability to handle some kind of crisis. When AI cannot work, what is that you do is the real AI skills we are looking at. For that, you should know where AI can be used, where AI cannot be used. What happens when AI fails? When you know these AI skills, it becomes very easy. Next is business skills. You should know multiple functions in the enterprise. You may be a CTO, but if you don't know how finance works, how marketing works, how operations works, how supply chain works, you're of no use to lead the teams. You must have functional business skills. So that one essential concept, you need not have experience in that. You should know that. You should know the effect of that. In some companies, which I know, first 5 years, every intern or the graduate management trainee will be rotated through all the functions so that they know when they move up, they have all the business skills. IT and some other groups are totally different. Once a programmer, always a programmer. That is a bad mindset, which I feel is okay in some countries where even after 10 years of experience, still you can do programming. But in some cases, it is not. At least in India, it is not. Up the value chain, we want you to know the different business functions that will add value to your competence, to your skills. That business skill is what is needed. All said and done, data skills are good, AI skills are good, business skills are good, but your ability to narrate a story, make people trust your story, and drive the whole thing towards the company goals is communication, is your ability to speak, your ability to narrate, your ability to persuade, your ability to convince the board, the customers, the stakeholders, everyone who is involved in this. Once you qualify your skills, you have to get one solution. One of the start with one solution where it's a high stake proposal. You give all the data, you show how you can grow this, make that happen. That is where your path to executive level starts, your promotion starts. These two are foundations. This is your testing the water. How will you test the water? You test the water by convert data into raw power. Convert the data into power. That comes with these skills. From this skill, you will get the personal value. From personal value, you move to the pitching strategic solution. From there, you will get the meaning of data. You had to convert. This skill is very, very important. So once you get this, now it has become a kind of a rule which says that data literacy is the ultimate pivot. The difference between a functional technical guy and a data driven guy is the key. It says that 50% of the chief analytics leaders, now it is AI. In fact, what Gartner has given in 24, still what was called analytics, but now it is called as AI. Earlier it was called as Chief Data and Analytics Officer. Now it is called as Chief AI Officer. So 50% of them are trying to drive the data literacy in their company. Why? Because they want the next generation to work with the data. Now you are in the twilight zone. You have the competence in handling whatever the function that you are doing. Are you literate with data? Can you take the decisions with data? Can you narrate? Can you speak? Can you tell a story with the discovery that you have done, with the diagnosis you have done, with the prediction you have done, with the recommendation that you give, can you weave a story and tell that story so that the people at the top understand, appreciate, and commit to you? That is what we are looking at. How do we do this? Normally, you should have the data skill. We know now that we are going with data skill. You must know how to bring the data from multiple systems. Not necessary you must have technical skill to do that, but you should know if the ERP data has to be connected to supply chain data, should be connected to CRM data. Do you know how to connect them? One is data availability. Second is thinking for that. Can you connect what is level 1 and level 2 effects? In fact, when we say I'm working with database, I know what are the tables that are there, but I don't know why they are used. They ask me something, requirements will come. I will generate the SQL query. I will test the correctness of the data and the logic. I will send the report. I can do it fast within 1 hour. When somebody takes 2 days, I can do it in 1 hour. You are very efficient. Are you productive? No, you are not productive. Have you understood that? Even before that comes, can you tell your CEO that this is what you have to do? Can you become a trusted partner of the CEO? Data skills will give you that. But that comes with domain knowledge. When the domain knowledge is not there, the SQL report generator will become SQL report generator, will become operational person. He can become operations head, but he cannot move beyond. If he wants to move beyond, he has to get the experience, the repeatable knowledge of the people, reasoning, and the presentation. How CEO presents it to board, how CFO presents it to CEO, how CMO presents it to CEO so that he can get the budget. How they do it? Can you get that? That comes with domain knowledge. Once we have these two, then we bring artificial intelligence, where we are using AI, learning, reasoning, and planning. Now AI is becoming super intelligent. We can do lot of brainstorming, lot of planning. That is okay, we can do. But the problem now is, as an expert, can you question AI? How many times you gave back AI, this is not correct, this is not factual. This is the fact. Use this fact and reason it again. I'm not looking at something appealing to me. I'm looking at something that is factual, which is repeatable. When you have these skills, you can get an intelligent decision support. And this is the future. And this is the strategy. Strategy is become skilled with data, get some, in fact, they say that should I work for another 20 years in supply chain, another 20 years in marketing, another 20 years in operations? No, no. You need 80-20 knowledge. The 20% of the knowledge, not the experience, not the skill, 20% of the knowledge, which can solve 80% of the problem in a particular domain. Hardly it takes about 1 or 2 months, not more than that. If you are with right mentors, if you know how to get that, if the structure is clear, if you have interest in doing that, you can get the entire enterprise knowledge in 1 year. Not difficult at all. You can get that within 1 year. This is perennial. This is a process. We don't know where the AI is going. We don't know how to adopt AI. Do you think I have not made mistakes? In fact, I always tell, out of 100 projects I had done, 90 projects are failures. Only 10 projects we were able to learn. Actually, I have not learned much in the 10 successful projects. I learned everything in the 90 failed project. It is like that. Artificial intelligence, nobody knows how to use it. In fact, yesterday there was a news from Ford. They recalled their 300 quality inspectors because AI failed miserably in testing the quality. Not that AI failed miserably, they didn't know how to use that. Now they are telling, okay, we have to use the expertise of the quality inspectors in Ford, and we would like to use the data and combine these two and drive artificial intelligence, because they dumped 300 people. They didn't know what if AI fails. They all learned it the hard way. We learn the hard way. But smart people will learn by mistakes of others. This is the strategy that we will use. Now, what are the things that you can deliver? You have to change your thinking to deliver. You have to change your behavior to deliver. The three important areas which you have to be comfortable are advanced business intelligence. I do not want to develop dashboards. I wanted to explain what is meant by that metric moving down, moving up to the business. When you can do that, you're not just BI developer. You're a trusted ally of a CFO, trusted ally of a CMO, trusted ally of a CEO. That is what we are looking at. The second area is just BI is not enough. You have to move beyond that to predictive modeling. You can use LLM to do predictive modeling, but if you don't question, they give spurious, hallucinated answers. Can you build the probabilistic models? The probability of this happening is 90%, XY is happening 10%. Then I know that, yeah, you have done your homework. The third one, these two are kind of, I will give the data, you do whatever you want. I predict the future, whatever you want, do whatever you want. I will recommend, do whatever you want. That is not the executive decision. Executive decision is you move from this to this, this to this. How do you execute? That's why you're called as executive. If you cannot execute it, if you just advise it, nobody needs you. They can get that from AI, but they cannot question AI like you. That's where you are adding the value. What value, personal value you bring to the table. Executive translation. How do you make sure it works? How do you show them there is a return on investment? How do you show them the total cost of ownership of your model is less than what they are costing now? There are some systems. What is the ROI if you replace that systems? There are some compliance requirements. What is the cost reduction or the total cost of ownership if they go with your system? When you start advising by taking responsibility and accountability with numbers in mind, KPIs, key performance indicators, what CEO thinks in terms of revenue, in terms of cost, in terms of efficiency. If you can start speaking this language, it's very easy for you to get promoted. Is that a 100% guarantee somebody can write and give it? No, no. We told very clearly probability models. Now the probability that you get promoted may be 40%, but after doing this, it becomes 90%. And that is the improvement and that is the thinking that we are expecting you to have when you want to get promoted. Failures will be there, assuming that I'm a failure. No, this will not work. There are too many problems will lead you to analysis paralysis. Not needed. By clear thinking, it is possible that you can move from whatever the current state you are in through executive translation kind of state. When you can do this, you are de facto CXO. The only thing is the company to recognize. That's where the soft side of it, the corporate politics, the corporate dynamics, and other things come in. That cannot be taught by AI, that cannot be taught by anybody. That you have to learn through a mentor. So you have to participate with a live mentor, you can learn better. What do we do? What skills we gain? As a domain expert, can you be a smart dashboard? Can you connect this to LLM and tell what this means to CEO? Can you do validation engineering? You're the domain expert. Some alert is coming. Can you say it is not false positive? Specifically, people who are working in cybersecurity and other areas, 80% is false positive. All SOC L1 will be flooded with all such kind of incidents. They had to say that this is false positive. But AI throws them because of the data. Can you validate before it is used in production? That exactly is what we are doing. Next is predictive analytics. Can you recognize the patterns? Can you prescribe something? Can you say that this is the best recommendation that I can give for this position? Another position, a different recommendation. Doing all these things, we are getting our knowledge amplified. Our knowledge becomes better and better. And that's why when somebody says that AI takes over humans and things like that, I don't agree. For 30 years, I'm in this field. I'm learning better and better. AI is learning better than what it was earlier. Still, I will be driving AI. All, kind of the fear mongers, they say AI will take over. No, AI will not take over your job. When you don't know AI, you will be replaced by the person with the similar skill who has got an ability to do these things. That's all. You're not a problem. Your skill is not a problem. Your inability to adapt the new changes, to make data-driven decisions, to showcase you're capable of leading the company is the barrier that you have to cross. It is not that opportunity is not there for you. Opportunity is there for everyone. But the preference will be given to the people who take accountability and who show the evidence. Now, what are the use cases? In fact, we would like to look at, I'm working in manufacturing, what I can do. Hundreds. I've just taken a couple of them. In fact, we work in manufacturing. We currently have around 35 use cases you can work with. If you know all of them, if you can implement them, and you can showcase, let's say predictive maintenance. Can you become a chief production officer or general manager of production? Yes, you can. You can predict and you can reduce the maintenance and you can make sure the availability of the system can be raised at least by 5%, and you can say availability can be ensured according to SLA. All of that is possible. We can do that. That's not a problem. Now, quality and inspection. In fact, this is one of the areas. Yesterday was the latest news from Ford where they say that our vision systems are not working. Now, we have to wait for the biopsy, autopsy. Once the autopsy is done, we will come to know why system failed. For me, it is very clear. Nobody evaluated before removing those inspectors. They never tested computer vision systems. Somebody might have sold it, somebody might have implemented it, and now they are feeling if AI fails, what to do. For us, it is always human with AI, not AI alone. Human alone is okay. The business is running as usual. But the AI with human is the next phase of change. Next is supply chain optimization. We do a lot of things. In fact, in one of the cases, we are so afraid that we are 96% accurate in forecasting the demand for a product, for a set of products. That has scared us because we have been taught literally anything more than 80, 85, you have to start questioning. We started questioning. We dig deeper. Month on month, it is becoming better and better. It is learning more and more. Because I have the historic data and I have predicted data, next month I will check, is it same? If it is same, I have no reason not to trust it. It failed during the war time. Immediately we jumped in and we saw what is to be changed. It can tell anything, but material is not available. Transportation is not available. I cannot supply it. People are not available. Businesses are closed. I cannot trust this. That was the failure of AI if I used it AI alone. When I introduced human in loop, we corrected within a week, everything got changed. It became again normal. So AI learns from humans. Humans are learning from AI. This is set of use cases what we use in manufacturing. CRM is a classic case. You look at anybody, you look at Facebook, you look at any of the reels in Instagram. What they are trying to do, they are trying to sell you. They want customers. Now, can they sell to everybody who sees that? No. They are looking at who are the people who are looking at my thing and I would like to score them. If they have looked at my thing 5 times, most likely they are likely to purchase. Send them the message, not message to everybody. Try to send customized message through lead scoring. Conversational and chatbots, this is the craze of the day. You look at anybody, they will give a chatbot. And you tell the chatbot you're a chatbot, it says, I don't understand. Tell me what do you want. That, has anybody tested it? Nobody has tested it. You can test it. Customer churn, customer is going to leave. You have to predict that. When you predict customer is going to leave, he is the customer who is giving 50% of revenue and he is going to leave. And if you say, I had given my model, what can I do? Then you are not CXO material. You say that this customer is going to lose, you are going to lose 50% of the revenue. This is what you have to do. I am giving this advice 6 months in advance. When you give that predictive information, the board is listening. Board wants you. And that is the way for the promotion. Finance, plenty. You ask any bank, what is your fraud rate? They say no, 0. There is no fraud that is happening in my bank. You ask the latest bank where almost 8,000 crore rupees has been fraudulently transferred. That's anomaly. No, 8,000 crores is not an anomaly. It was happening under your nose and you are not observing it. Have you put the AI systems in place? You could have selected it. Have you had people in place who are honest? They could have detected it. It has not happened. Now we would like to go for that. How much revenue company can make, bank can make? You can look at that. How is the invoice and expense is happening? Do I need 12 people to generate the invoice or can I use agents to generate the invoice? So expense, somebody has to pay to somebody else. Should everybody check that, or if everything is valid, can the money automatically be released? Can you do the automation? These are the use cases that we are finding in finance. Operations, plenty. Now, I do not want any people to stand near a dangerous zone. Can you automate that process? Yes. Can you tell me how much inventory I had to keep in stock so that I will not be overstocking or understocking? If I overstock, it is lots my, kind of, it's a cost for me. I'm not selling. It's a dead inventory. If it is understock, it is the lost sales, lost revenue. Can you optimize that? Can you tell me how many people are required? How many people will be absent tomorrow? Can you tell me who are the best people I have in my team? Are all 100% of my team members are good? Or 20% are good? They are just dragging the whole company. 80% are living on those 20%. Who are those 20%? Do you know? If they are the people who leave your company silently, you didn't even knew until they left, what will you do? If you knew that earlier, what will you do? These are the things that we are doing in operations. Insurance, claim processing, risk assessment, fraud detection, plenty of use cases. The problem is, do you know these things? Can you speak this language? Not technology, not code, not Python, not AI, not PyTorch. Can you tell your claim processing currently uses 10 people, is cost you about $10,000. You automate the whole process. You keep only 2 people when the AI fails. You can reduce it by $8,000 per month. When you can start speaking this particular language, you will be noticed. The first trigger is always noticed. If you are not noticed, if I don't know you exist in my company, how will I recommend you to, or how can I recommend you for promotion? I cannot. The first thing is, have you been noticed? Have you been contributing to this? Are you taking authority and accountability? Are you data driven? You can do the first 3. There is no problem. But if you are not doing the 4th one, which actually is the magic sauce, you're not there. Because there may be competition with your company who do the other 3 similar to you. They also expecting I should be, promoted. But if any one of them is having the data driven skills, certainly he will be promoted. So looking at this, I always suggest people should go for some strategic career change. If the company gives the possibility of doing this, leading this, by all means, please take that. For 80% of people, company cannot give. When the company cannot give, the way to do that is rehabilitation. Switch to something which builds your strategic future. Why? An MSc like what we promote is can make you C-suite ready. First, you become the senior manager or possibly assistant CFO or assistant CTO. Then you can move to the next level. So it makes your destination distance shorter. The time to reach that shorter. What are the skills that you can expect from any masters? Please be very clear about this. You must get the skills, not the degree. Degree should be the outcome of your capabilities. No capability comes out of degree. Your degree comes out of capability. The first capability you should have is risk modeling and governance. Do you know company as a whole? What is the risk? How do I govern this company? You should know this from data. How do you handle the digital transformation? Digital transformation is not about I will put all my data on computer. ERP system is there. No, everything is digitized. So what? Has the transformation led to a better productivity, better revenue, better cost? If it is not there, you should lead that transformation. You have to apply the machine learning, all artificial intelligence. In fact, for us, machine learning is one part of AI. Gen AI is one part of machine learning. People confuse, I don't want to learn machine learning. I want to learn generative AI. Generative AI is one portion of machine learning. You will be learning applied machine learning. You need not have to do coding kind of thing. The last one, which is important, is executive communication. You had to speak the language of the C-suite. If not, nobody will recognize you. They feel you're operational guy, you're suited for that. If you had to become tactical and strategic, you had to speak executive speech. That's very, very important. I'll stop at this. Over to you, Professor. Yeah, you can use it. Oh, we'll take any questions that is there once Professor Shinobi.
No, I think, sorry. Okay, are there any questions that we are looking? Can you hear me? Because we are in the same place, there could be some static. Are there questions we can look at? So far the questions have not come. Anything that you want to comment if you don't have a question? Nikesh, can you help us curate the questions? Are there questions? Questions must be there, right? Because
Malik is.
Okay.
Malik wants to speak.
Speaking might not be allowed. Please put the chat there, right? Raja and everyone who is raising the hand. We have muted the questions, right? I mean, muted your audio. So if you want to want us to answer anything, please chat.
Yeah, one of the things I would like to give an example. We were working with one of the frozen food distributors, and they were getting the seafood fresh onto the table. So they had a shelf life about 4 days, and they wanted to increase it to around 7 days. And we identified what are the factors which are contributing to the cold chain. We are finding what is the volume, what kind of fish, and what is the temperature at which it is stored, what is the temperature at which it is logistically transported from point A to point B, and all these things. They were using German-based freezers, and German-based freezer has given the temperature range should be between 14 and 20 degrees centigrade. In that, I can guarantee the 4 days of freshness. When we did the analysis, when we took the data, when we understood that 80% of the fishes which were above 7 days, which was going up to 10 days, were in the range of 17 to 19 degrees centigrade, not 14 to 20 degrees centigrade. Very short range. We did nothing. We just did analysis of the data. We gave them, this is the insight we are generating, this is the discovery we did. You go and test this. When they tested it, they found it correct. Investment was 2 cents. The profit was 2000 cents. That is the power of data. That's how the decision making will be done with the power of data. Did that answer your query?
For HR, they are asking questions. Any advanced tools for HR is available in the market?
Don't go with the tool. Tool will not help you with anything. Go with the use case. Tools will not help you because more or less ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Qwen, Claude, these are more than sufficient for you to do anything. That is not the problem. How do you trust what Claude says is correct? How do you check what ChatGPT says is correct? If you have the domain, you can test that. If you have the data skills, you can test that. So one of the things normally we suggest is try to build what are called as life cycle analysis. Now let us take HR as a case. The HR case, we are looking at cattle to grave. You recruit somebody and he leaves after 10 years. He was one of your best employees. Did he knew that he is going to leave after 10 years? Did he knew that 3 months before, let's not say 3 months because 3 months is the current notice period. Now let's say that 6 months in advance, were you able to predict that he is likely to leave? Based on what? Based on number of absence that he is having in his roles, the kind of quality that he is submitting, the kind of communication that he is making. Based on that, if you were able to predict something is wrong with this person, is that likely a trigger for him to leave? And that becomes a life cycle model. What are the kind of people you want to recruit? Where do you find them? Which vendor gives that better? From which college if you take he is good? How much experience is good? Do you want somebody coming from Tier 1 company to Tier 3 company or Tier 3 company to Tier 2 company? Whom do you want to recruit? Who has done better? That will be acquisition analysis or acquisition model. Can you discover that? Next is who needs what kind of training? Who is contributing more? Whose value is more, cost is less? We call them as Moneyball employees. Do you know how many Moneyball employees your company has? That is another insight. Moneyball employees are cheapest employees adding highest value consistently. Do you know them? If you don't know them, if he leaves, you don't even know he has left. He was the Moneyball employee. Somebody who is making noise, who is visible, probably he may be promoted. How the company is giving that? Because HR is the eyes, ears, and mouth of the management and the employees. You are the connector between these two. If you have this data-driven insights, you can add value to the company. This is what we are doing. This is what you have to learn. What was the other question?
I think more questions are on tools. So what are the...
Oh, there are plenty of tools. If you are looking at, in fact, for me, for the freshers who don't have any tools, take your Excel data, put it into ChatGPT. Be very careful about the personally identifiable information like the salary, the person's name, age, and all those things. You can mask it, you can upload it, and you can download it, and you can get the. But that's one of the tools, easiest tools that you can use. It can be Claude, it can be Qwen, it can be anything. Depending on how you would like to do, you can start with that. The second set of tools are what are called as the machine learning tools. The machine learning tools are basically the Orange, the Weka, the Enterprise Miner. There are plenty of tools. If you are looking at open source, you can start with Weka or Orange. If you are looking at the closed source, you can look at Azure ML. Right, it gives that. Now you want to present it to the management. You can use Power BI or Tableau, or you can use just Streamlit. So tools is the last thing I talk about. If you know that, if you have the clarity about what you want, doing it is much easier. Plenty of open source tools are there, and we can do that. There was one consistent.
Okay, certificates and all that. Why are you collecting the certificate from a webinar? What is the purpose, Dr. Rajesh? Sorry, I mean, certificate is good to collect, but what is the learning here, right? So, okay, I think the other questions are not there. So, let me take a minute now to wrap up the conversation. I think the message is very clear. The way that we think that we can run our decisions because somebody has to emotionally be listening to our stories. That may not work, right? We have to first collect the data on the right metrics that we have to do. So is there a data collection habit that we have? What is the data we are collecting? And how are we creating our current reports? What are we measuring, right? And then moving to what we should collect actually and how it should be measured. All these habits, new habits have to be formed, and not just making reports and making modeling, right? But can you talk the language of how are we adding value to the business functions, business metrics? Dr. Simha was telling, right? It is about CXO languages, that what is the profitability, what is the cost effectiveness, what is the leverage in terms of finance that you bring to the table, right? So if you really don't understand all these things, then we get stuck at wherever that we are today, right? So chase the right process, chase the right thinking, and chase the right numbers. That is what we would want to promote through RACE, and with Dr. Simha's years of experience, not running companies and leading some of those AI implementation, but he is looking at companies' overall effectiveness, right? So that is what we teach here, and that's what the programs like business analytics would bring in, right? We are looking at with the data, how do we drive business goals, and can you drive it? Can you move up in your thinking? Somewhere the system is getting shipped. So we are RACE. We have a series of programs that which we offer. One is a business analytics, which is excellent for non-technical functional leaders to move their thinking from data driven. So maybe about 30 plus tools you will get exposed to. Tool is one thing, but do you know the life cycle of your process? If it is employee life cycle, is it material life cycle, is it money life cycle? What is that you are tracking, right? So that is what functional analytics plus your technical competency will be built. That is this program. And if somebody is looking for pure technical competence, then AI is the program. And somebody feels like I am the defender of the universe and I have to really protect my enterprise from cyber warfare, then cyber security is the program. If you think that, okay, I would want to ensure that we set up cloud native solutions and run our workloads on multiple clouds, and I must be able to create solutioning out of multiple clouds which is available. It could be AI workloads or general application workloads. Then you must look at cloud architecture and security. And if you are a decision maker in a company and you want to say that let us custom make a program for your team members, then we have a series of programs spun out of based on your training requirements. Whichever is the case, do look at RACE program seriously, and whether you join or not, do visit us. Sit in some of the classes where Dr. Simha and similar senior industry mentors would share their lifelong experience, technical expertise. What you saw is a webinar, which is more of a talk, right? But to see Dr. Simha in action, actually building models, multiple models, solving business use cases, using AI, you have to see these mentors in action. For that, you have to come to the campus. We are a beautiful campus in North Bangalore, and we are open, and we have been doing a lot of work in terms of research, consultancy, projects, training, etc. And some of these awards are also being put. And our team is here in terms of so there's a number here. So do spread the message that here real learning happens. Learning is not for the sake of learning to apply, learning to make you a better person who will add real tangible value to your organization. That is what we would want all of you to look at. That's where we say promotion is inevitable to those who really understand what is my role in the bigger organization. If you really understand and then pivot your thinking, your tooling, your armory, you promotion is inevitable, right? And we are here to facilitate that journey, fast track that journey. You don't have to go around straight off doing so many courses and so much of confusion. Come here. There's a one-stop destination where you meet the right mentors, right path, which can help you to fast track that promotion dream that you have. Okay. So with that, thank you, Prof, so much, and looking forward to connecting with all of you. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Why we are in a